Like, come on, man.
1, 2, 3,
You got like
4
3 hairs on your chin. There's no rating on your beard.
Welcome.
There's no beard.
To Joe's Wisdom Hour.
Oh.
I can't keep her going.
All right, Joe, what's one word of wisdom?
Hold on, I want to. Yeah, I want the wisdom hour.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me something, wise one. So for those of you listening,
That's what you want
Yeah.
out of the person that's supposed to give you wisdom.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
just the
Because
silence
I'm
and the
catering my
struggle.
wisdom to you.
Right. There was a very.
Honestly, we'll take any wisdom.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be catered.
We'll have to boost the audio, but there was a subtle ASMR of
Was there? Could
of
you hear it a
Joe,
little bit?
kind of like, you know when crickets rub their legs together and they go.
Yeah.
It was like a small, like I could hear you bristle against the 5 mustache hairs you've grown.
Yeah, I've got 5, maybe 6 of them now.
Yeah.
But hello, everyone. Welcome to Off Topic. I'm hosting. My name is Joe, the wise man.
Gold. I heard it go all the way down.
I wanted to continue with it. We've got Alfredo.
It's a lot of short and long
Griff.
strands.
And we've got Trevor.
We've got our genius.
Our genius, Jonius.
I'm still waiting for just any kind of
There's
wisdom.
no wisdom.
Right.
Yeah, we were talking about how I cannot grow facial hair, and Griff noticed that I have maybe like 7
No mustache.
mustache hairs.
I think you got more than that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
you
feel
got
like
You got
a few.
a thin one. You got a lot of
25.
thin ones and some like lighter ones.
couple thick ones.
There's like
Yeah.
there's like a really strong boy right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Trevor was saying how it was so prominent back then in China that that's who they
I'm
made
terrified of what you're going to imply that
made
I
the-
said.
Right, yeah,
leaders.
hold on.
You're putting words
the
in my mouth.
emperors and the generals
And they're
Yeah.
and the Fu Manchus.
I'll give some context. So what you had said, I'm gonna go ahead
Trevor's
and
afraid.
fix up what's gonna maybe be said here. So Joe goes, oh, well, Griff had asked what causes that, like the
Yeah.
lack of facial hair, and you're like, well, simply just genetics. But then you said, historically, like it's you don't know a single Asian person who is able to grow
Not like
any facial
not like
hair, really.
full beards or like
Yeah.
full mustaches. They're always super patchy.
Huh.
You got
I never thought about
you got a
it.
similar.
Well,
situation.
the high school that I went to was like 85% Asian.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you had to have like a 3.5 GPA to get in.
That's crazy.
So,
What the hell?
It was a,
You
it
grew
was
up in
like
John-
so a lot
you
of
from John
Mexicans didn't
Street?
make it
He
in.
went,
I was
he
one
went
of the
to
few.
Waltz High School.
I was one of the few Mexicans / African Americans that made it in.
Where were you?
San Francisco, born and
okay.
raised.
Yeah.
And so didn't see a lot of mustaches at all.
Yeah.
At all. It was all
Were
the
there
like white
competitions?
kids that were.
They're like, oh, whoa, you can grow that?
There was a lot of
But it was, like,
trying. There was a
patchy?
lot of trying,
Yeah.
and like, I applaud them for trying,
Mm-hmm.
but they look good.
I had some guys at my
I'd
high
try.
school that could grow like the bushiest beards.
The
and-
bushiest.
And immediately they look like a 35-year-old man,
Oh,
but
yeah.
then they stay there until they're 35 because like, you know,
Yeah.
they just have these
Yeah.
huge full beards and I'm just like, my whatever facial hair I have has slowly grown in over the course of my long. I didn't know puberty could last 20 years.
Yeah.
But it's just about been that long. That it's like at one point it was like there, and then the next phase was kind of what Fredo's got, and then like
I got nothing.
it's just slowly added over time, but it's still not full. And like I don't know if it'll ever
It still
ever get
looks.
there.
It's still. I mean, probably. You
I mean,
probably have more
it
hair
looks
in your
good.
face
It
than
looks
I've
good.
ever had in my lifetime.
I'm thinking about shaving everything faceward and just growing it out here.
Just
Everything
neck
that
beard.
faces
Oh, just like
south,
full neck beard.
just only a neck beard, you know, like a Civil War soldier.
Keep this chin strap though. Just like keep
a chin
this.
strap.
Yeah, keep a
Then
chin
a full
strap.
disconnect and then neck beard.
every
I'm gonna grow a Jedi braid from my Adam's apple.
I'll be honest. Every time I see someone with a full beard, all I really think about is like, if I shave that off, is there a chin under there?
No.
Oh,
You know
That's
what
why
I
they-
mean? Like,
That's why they grew the
you know
beard.
what I mean? That's right. That's why you grew the beard, right? Because then the chin is
Yeah.
non-existent.
Yeah.
You shave it off, it's like,
yeah,
Do you think
real George Lucas situation where
we should attempt it with
not only
Jaren?
Pan's Labyrinth right there.
We should attempt it with Jaren. Jaren can be the experiment.
We shave
We'll
it
we'll make it a video.
That's what you
we'll
were doing.
record him.
You were calling it.
walking up to
Yeah.
Jared, I'm like, hey, Jared. Zzz.
Well, no, we'll shave everything around it just for the grand reveal, and then we'll just shave the one like line right through the center, and if he's got a chin or not.
Do a chin reveal
Yeah,
live
the
on
chin
the
reveal.
channel.
Chin reveal.
Oh man, that's all I think of now. Though I'm like, is there a chin under there? Or are you just hiding that?
I will say, I saw a lot of Fu Manchus last week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What were you doing last week?
I was in Puerto Rico,
Okay.
staying at a place with my family, and there was a casino in the hotel. And I didn't know that all casino games were like super racist. When was the last time you've been to like a casino?
Yeah.
Because when I think casino, I'm like,
they're very
ooh,
themed.
I'm like blackjack and
Yeah.
the poker or
Yeah,
whatever.
the table
but,
games.
they have like all these like slot machines,
Mhm.
and they're all just like super Chinese dragon fun
Yeah.
time. Like they're all like that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and it's like super lucky China woman. Like it's really and then like
Oh, no.
a lot of gongs when people like it's really
Yeah.
it's like mad cringe.
Yeah, it's like someone from like 1858 said, "What is an Asian person?" And then
Yeah.
they like just plastered
Gongs?
stereotype
Yeah,
of
gongs.
dragons.
No, dragons, pots
Yeah.
of
Pandas.
gold money that I don't even think was ever used there.
Mm-hmm.
It's
The cat.
Yeah.
yo,
And then-
so many
the
lucky,
cats.
yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
lucky
cats.
cats.
Yep.
And then like the ones that weren't that were just like either like Egyptian themed for whatever
Right.
reason,
Mhm.
or just like American wilderness themed. So it'd be like
Is that or
eagle,
cowboys?
eagle
Yeah.
claw or
Yeah, eagle
wolf
claw.
den.
Big bass fishing.
Literally, but
Or
but
Wild
you're
West
trying to catch
stuff.
quarters or whatever.
Oh.
It feels like it feels like they updated the machines, but none of the aesthetics. So it feels like going into the past, but with new stuff. It's really weird.
You're time traveling with modern tech, like
Yeah.
the technology, and then you're just sitting in the time period, and
Yeah.
you're just like, this is a little awkward.
It's a little weird.
I don't know the last time I stepped in a casino.
I don't know.
That was my second time.
Trevor, do
ever
you
stepping
gamble?
in a casino.
Not
Did
really.
Reno.
No.
Well, like when
I went to
was a kid.
Vegas, and then I was up some, and then I was down some, and I said that was enough of that. I'm gonna go walk
Well-
and just see things, see shows, and I just put my headphones in and just like meandered in and out of all
Yeah.
the casinos because
Yeah.
they all
They're-
kind of connect.
They're sad too.
They're kind of sad, and like,
Yeah.
but then you see the people that are
Yeah.
like, the slot riders that
Yeah.
kind of they plot down.
yeah, dude. They
And then like,
They'll
then
be,
they,
like, at the one
they
next to
soil
them.
themselves in those spots. You got to be careful
Dude,
what
yeah,
you're
they don't
sitting in.
leave.
It's weird. It's
Yeah.
so
And then
weird.
they get like locked in, or just like if I leave the machine, that's when it's gonna hit.
Right.
Someone
They're
else
like,
is
I
gonna
didn't
hit.
Yeah.
I didn't loosen this one up
Yeah.
so you could win.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay
Like
here.
it's a jar or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
See, you brought up soiling yourself, and I just realized me and Destiny watched an episode of My Strange Addiction last night where people were addicted to drinking their own urine.
Their own.
Oh,
Yeah, their own
Jesus.
or each other's.
Okay.
Oh,
And it's-
how do you get two
It's
people
called,
who?
it's called urotherapy.
No, it's not therapeutic in any
No,
way.
it's urine therapy.
Okay, I'm
It's-
gonna look up Merriam-Webster's
look,
definition of
it may
therapy.
may not be.
Okay. What
does
It
it
may not be real, actual, scientific, factual evidence there.
Sure.
But it is
It's a big-
pseudoscience.
That may not be is doing so much work
Yeah.
for that sentence.
Yeah, I mean, but
It may not.
it is still a type of science, which is pseudoscience, right? So they piss in jars, they drink it right away.
Right away.
They rub
sake.
piss in their wounds
Now,
on their
what is
skin
this
as lotion.
supposed to
Oh my
fix?
God.
What is it supposed to fix?
Yeah.
Everything.
'Cause
Apparently,
Merriam-
it's nature's remedy.
Oh,
for
it's
everything.
well, we just did an episode on Fulcanelli, the Last Alchemist, and I mean, I feel like that's chapter 1 of 3 alchemy solved.
Yeah.
They're,
Yeah.
they're after the cure-all for all disease.
Yep.
We've been making it ourselves this
for
whole
free,
time.
yeah.
I just feel like if piss was such a cure-all, we would have figured that out a long time ago.
Listen, I'll
Big
tell you.
Pharma doesn't want you to
tell
do
you-
No,
that.
that's
Big Pharma
true.
doesn't want you
That's
to find
true.
out.
Big Pharma
They don't
wants
want
you
us
to think
find
it's
out. They wanna-
yucky.
yeah, they
I'll
wanna
tell
keep-
you though, I've got
Eat
no
his
no
pills.
cuts in this urethra. So it
Oh
could be that it's
oh my
because when I
God.
pee, it's been healing this whole time. And so if I don't have any urethric injuries, then maybe there is something to this urine healing
What?
power.
So you have no cuts in your urethra?
Yes.
What would
How do you develop cuts in your
Yeah.
I won't know, but maybe it's because my urine has been so strong in its healing abilities, and maybe that's what Big Pharma doesn't want you
Yeah.
to know. Honestly, they might be onto something.
burning urine? So when it burns when you pee, it's actually your pee healing the
Healing
cuts
you, yeah.
inside of your urethra.
Right.
Jesus
Right.
Christ.
And the doctors tell you that's a bad thing. You need to come in. No, it's Big Pharma trying to
Yeah.
sell you on more medicine.
piss it out.
And, yeah, exactly.
You think it's microplastics that will cut up your urethra?
Oh, microplastics. Yeah, that'll do it.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At what point, like, what percentage are we microplastic
Like
now?
30.
Like, it's definitely
30?
in
I feel
all
like
of
that's
us, for sure.
deadly.
I
That's
feel like
what.
Like I got plastic in my brain now,
Oh,
and I'm
for
not
sure.
really happy about it.
there's nothing you can do about it.
But how much of it is in there?
Well, I don't know. That's why maybe they say
Plastic
save
does
the
so many things
turtles.
for us.
You know, because
They're
dicks can sometimes look
choked
like
out,
turtles, turtle heads,
What?
and
Hmm.
the plastic's going in the urethra.
Oh,
It's
okay,
cutting
I
up the
see it.
urethra,
Yeah.
and so they say don't put plastic in the ocean. Save the turtles.
Listen, I'm here to yes and, but I might just let that one air out
Yeah,
to
you
dry.
let that one dry.
I feel like microplastics is our version of like lead gas.
It absolutely is.
Like that's what's gonna
Um,
make us crazy when we're boomer aged.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, oh, they're all riddled with
With
plastic.
plastic.
And you're like, yeah, but so are you.
Grandpa's brain's full of
They've
PFAs.
found it in fetuses and I mean it's in everything.
It's in
now.
everything. We're
And
all
it's like-
life in plastic. It's fantastic.
Well,
Barbie music
right.
That's
addicted.
kind of why. That's kind of why they were drinking urine, though. Was like an actual reason was if they just keep drinking their own urine,
You get more
you're
plastic
not
in you.
getting any of the other shit that they put
Right,
in like
you're
water.
just
So they don't-
condensing yourself. You're distilling
Yeah.
your own impurities.
As-
They don't drink water or anything.
That's
They
it.
only drink their urine.
Pisses your bad stuff. Coming
Right,
out.
you're just putting the bad stuff back
The
in
bad
to
stuff back in.
concentrate. You're like,
yeah, until you get like
Did
a
it-
sludge
or
of-
you boil it.
It's
sludge. It gets
concentrating.
thicker every time.
Disgusting.
It's concentrating the water
Uh-huh.
that's being
Oh,
pissed
for
out,
Sure.
and then it's compacting,
Compounding.
compounding on each other, and then it's super water.
Right. So that's not the case.
I mean, that's
Super
what
water.
that's what they say.
You know what?
I'm,
I think they might be incorrect a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not in urine therapy, so.
You know what I saw that
don't
involved
know.
water over the weekend?
You what?
Avatar.
Meg 2.
So
Ooh.
that the only thing I know about that is that Jason Statham's is swimming freestyle. Like he's free diving at 6,500 feet below the surface.
Yeah, Station
Double the
Statham.
depth of the Titan X accident.
Well,
He's,
maybe they
he's out there just
maybe,
swimming.
Maybe they should have studied Jason Statham's biology to
He's,
figure
You know what,
out.
honestly.
Look, man, he's fighting megalodons again.
Again.
And
They're back.
the initial reviews were like a 0 Rotten Tomato, and I was like, oh,
Ooh.
this could be
Great.
great.
right,
That means it's
right.
perfect film.
Right, exactly. And I went, I watched, it's an hour and a half,
Perfect length.
and I was just like, oh, fuck, no, it's bad.
No.
The first
What?
hour,
Bad, bad?
dude,
Even
okay,
good bad?
all you gotta do is you got megalodons,
Yeah.
you fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
The
a
first hour, corporate espionage.
no.
Oh, so it's the same.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
first one, right? It's
Yeah.
kind of like the first one, but they just made it worse.
Yeah,
Because the first one wasn't bad. The first one was
The first one,
enjoyable.
was good
I
bad,
enjoyed it.
right?
It was good bad. It was
yeah.
good bad. It was good bad. I will say the last 30 minutes when there are different creatures from the trench wreaking havoc on an island, that was cool. Jason Statham running down like this thin narrow bridge that's on top of shallow water. Or just on
Dock?
top of water. Yeah, just a dock. Yeah. He's running along a dock.
Okay.
We just reverse engineered it.
Yeah. he's running along a dock, and then like the Meg like is chewing on it.
Uh-huh.
And then like the dock flips up and he's sliding towards the Meg's mouth. And then he takes not both legs, just his right leg and holds the megalodon back
Shut up.
with his one
How's he
leg.
holding it back?
It-
So he's
Bro,
like,
'cause
huh.
He's just like that and holding it back.
What, has he
This
got his
thing
foot
is
on his lip
as
or
big-
something?
His mouth is as big as his fucking
Right, so
sack,
where's the
right?
leg going?
And the
On
leg
it.
is right on the nose,
On
and
it.
it's just like holding it back with his leg. And I'm just like, this rules.
The tensile strength
Yeah.
of his muscles
like-
must be
I was like-
wild.
I was like, this fucking rules.
They got you back.
Unfortunately, there was very little of that.
Oh, really?
Very, very little of that.
Did they just like backload all the CGI so they didn't, is it
No, there was a
mostly-
ton of CGI
Oh, okay.
throughout the whole movie, but for some damn reason, they were like corporate espionage.
Were there any important deaths?
Huh.
Well, don't spoil anything, but
Mm.
were there any important deaths in this movie?
Yeah, the Meg.
No,
No?
no.
See, the first one at least had Toji.
Yeah.
Remember, he just like slipped the note in the pocket and he was like, goodbye, friend. And locked it,
Look,
died.
It did have someone that every turn possible was like, I'll sacrifice myself. And even Jason Statham is just like, it's not necessary.
You don't
like,
have to
he's
do
like-
that.
Yeah, at one point, he's like, you don't have to do that. Like, he's just like grabbing a flare and running towards the Megs to like distract it, like Jurassic Park style. And as the Meg coming up, Jason Statham is like, he just like grabs it and then just like puts, I guess, like a balloon or some type of propulsion device on it and sends it up into the sky. And then he like dives the guy out of the way and he's just like, you don't have to do that. And it was like, the dude just kept trying to like, I'll sacrifice myself.
Hey, are you
and Jason
okay?
Statham's like, no, it's not necessary. You don't need to.
He's got some stuff going
I
on.
have to.
It was, so that was terrible. But as like, it's whatever.
Damn,
I go to
man.
Alamo,
Yeah.
I get good food.
Yeah.
What was great is we started watching Muscle Mayhem,
What?
On
which is
Netflix.
on Netflix,
Yeah.
which is a mini series. It's a 5-part documentary where they cover the
American Gladiators.
American Gladiators. And boy, is that shit awesome.
It's spicy. I love
It's
Is it just following them as they train or something?
it's following like like how the show came to be,
Yeah.
how they picked the gladiators,
it. Their peaks and their valleys.
the peaks and the valleys, and like a lot of the initial stuff is just like, oh, like we're trying to pitch this show, but also when they were like trying to recruit people just to to find the initial gladiators, they were just like, okay, we're gonna have you guys wrestle. Oh, you guys set it up on concrete. Okay,
Ugh.
interesting.
Yeah.
And
They're
then
wrestling on concrete.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
was just
the only way
like
to build
shit
a
was
real
unsafe
gladiator.
as fuck.
Like they would have like tryouts just like in a park.
in a
Nice.
park.
In a park.
Was there any just regular Joes? I feel like
Tons
I
of
can't-
regular
A lot of
Joes.
I can't get into
Tons
that
of regular
unless
Joes.
unless they got someone who just rolled off
Tons
of
of
like a
regular
12-hour game.
And
set.
Have
then-
you seen American Gladiators?
Is that the one where where it's like basically the side-scrolling game where they're like swinging from things that
No, that's
the-
American
the-
Ninja
that's a-
Warrior.
that's
Got
yeah,
it,
yeah.
got
The
it.
famous game is like they're on 2 pedestals and they have like
Oh, and they're, like,
jousting each
jousting.
other.
Oh,
And,
okay.
Yeah.
and the point is that it's regular people versus the gladiators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So most of it is just like, all right, so it'd be like if someone was like, all right, so this guy's been doing CrossFit for 15
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
and you have to fight him physically in the octagon.
Excellent.
And then all of America was like, we want 27 seasons of this forever and always.
And,
Pretty straightforward. I
and
want to see
then-
regular
and then-
people get their asses kicked.
and they got very popular.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And then the steroids start hitting. And
Hit
so
the gladiators, and so these
or-
people are
or
getting
the
broken.
people.
Dude, they start shooting up, and there's all these stories about
in the show?
roid rage
Yeah.
and all
Whoa.
this shit. Like one of the dudes got fired because like in the middle of like a match, the ref was like, "You're disqualified," and he like charged at the ref like during the live show because he was roid out of his mind.
Yeah.
It was just like, holy shit.
It's awesome.
Then there was like another story of
You know
like,
how much I shrunk my balls for this? I'm not
Dude.
going home. Terrence, I'm going home. You're going under. 6 feet.
there was a story where the 2 gladiators, right? They're best friends. They live together.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They were like driving down LA. One guy's listening to, some just like hip hop jams. And the other dude who's in the passenger seat he's like, I don't like this, turned it to country. And they're flipping this music back and forth.
Hip hop and country.
Yeah,
back
they're
and forth.
roid out of their minds. So
Oh,
they
yeah.
start like smacking the shit out of each other while they're driving. Then they stop the car, get out,
What
beat the shit out of each other. And then like the one dude has his friend in a headlock, and then his friend bites him on the fucking like cheek.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
Then he like backs away. He's like, oh, it's all good. And he like lifts him up and socks him in the fucking eye. So and then after that, they're like, I'm sorry, bro. Anyways, let's go get food.
Well, as a
And I was
dude's
like,
cheek
what
is
the
like hanging
fuck?
off, like
Yeah.
halfway hanging, it's
Yeah.
like flapping in the wind.
Yeah.
And they were
Yeah.
just
No
like,
lie.
that's what roids like can do. That's roid rage. And I was like, what?
And they're like, the
fuck?
means justify the ends. The American
Gladiator.
viewers have decided that this is the show they want, and so do whatever.
Yeah.
It
Wild.
was.
That could be
It was
a new
wild.
They
show
have no
for
health
us.
and safety, huh?
Well,
Yeah, you want to do a show like that? We bite
it's
each other?
Last one to have roid rage wins.
Okay. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to be a correspondent that watches from afar.
Right.
You know, I'll be the guy
You're
in
just
the
like-
van that's kind of like peeking in on different cameras going like, this is interesting.
I got a name.
What's the name?
You call it Zens and Pins.
Zens and pens?
Yeah. Pinning is what they call it when they do the steroids.
Oh, they pen up?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Zens and pens. That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
So you have people that have just rolled out of like a poetry session, like someone who's like a thespian, and they come in and they say, I thought that this would challenge me to realize myself and to, I have a role coming up that I'd like to really push myself to understand what I'm capable of. And then you got someone who's roided out of their mind. They're the pen side of
Yeah.
things. And then the two of them get into the octagon.
And
dude,
beat
it's
shit.
fascinating. Because then after
wild.
after the steroid incident, they're like, oh shit, like we're selling toys. Our audience is getting younger and younger. Like kids are looking up to these people. So
Kids
then
are
like
looking
one
up to
like
a bunch
right.
of penners.
Yeah.
well then the producer
Kids are like, Mom, I want a pen for Christmas.
the
I wanna get
producer
fucking
like
yoked,
walks
dude.
into the room and it just sees all these needles everywhere and everything. And then he's like, look, we're gonna test you guys. We're gonna test you guys for steroids starting tomorrow. And if you have it in your system, you're fired.
Boy.
Oh boy.
But then
So it's everyone.
they go in the next day to get tested,
Yeah.
and then they see like the people prepping all the stuff. They go in, and then they sit around for 10 minutes, and then the person that's supposed to test them just goes, "All right, you're good." And then like they all left,
That's crazy.
and then they're like, "Look, you got 6 weeks. We're gonna test you in 6 weeks." But what they just did was all for show for like the advertisers to be
That's
like, "Hey, we
crazy.
tested them. Look,
They're
they're
all
all
clean."
shit." Anyways, you got 6 weeks. Get the shit out of your fucking system.
Yeah.
Is 6
I was
weeks
like,
enough
dude,
to
This show,
balance out your
dude, it
hormones?
fucking rules. It's a good watch.
I
What's
don't know.
that? 6 weeks? I have
Is
no
it
idea.
enough?
I don't. I
Well,
mean, they said 6 weeks.
Have you guys seen Icarus, the documentary Icarus?
I've heard of the man that flew once.
It's this dude. He's like a professional biker guy, a cyclist, and he tries doping to see if it like will make him a better
Yeah.
cyclist if he could win the Tour de France. And they like go into super detail about everything he does. And he works with this like Russian scientist guy who gives him all the protocol and whatever. And he's like, oh, and then you just stop like 2 weeks before and you'll be fine if they test you.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you can like do all the doping, get all the
Apparently.
benefits,
Apparently.
and then like coast it off. At
Yeah,
the
then
end.
coast. That's how people.
He's-
that's
he's
what
like,
they
here,
did.
Well,
in
they-
here's your-
it's
here's your
called
Depends what kind of
cycling.
steroids
Yeah,
you're doing,
cycling.
right?
Cycling.
Yeah.
You go on a cycle.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's
Where
a
you like
cyclist.
roid up,
So
lift
you can
up, and then
cycle.
you get off of it.
And you
before gotta do
uncycle.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he goes, all right, week 1, here's your pen. Week 15, when you need to come off of it,
Yeah.
here's concentrated distilled urine
Okay, you're
from a
joking.
clean individual. That way, you can go through the urine therapy.
And then you
say
drink
that,
it.
but that's literally what happens
That's-
in the thing. Like
Yeah.
he travels. He has to take a piss sample like,
Yeah.
every week.
Yeah.
So he has these big frozen bags of piss.
That-
that
what does he just strap it to like a body bag to
that he
warm
has
it up?
that he takes him to, well, he takes him to Russia with him because they're trying to
Yeah.
see if he's detectable. And he's just got all these bags of piss. And then they tell you, they explain like remember how Russia couldn't do the Olympics because they got caught all doping?
Yeah, but they just were not affiliated with Russia, right?
Yeah,
They
but
were just like
they
individuals or
got
something?
caught because everyone was all roided up.
Yeah.
But and they had these super specific like tests to like it was like you piss in this
Yeah.
and then you close it and the only way to open it is to literally like break it.
Yeah.
And they would but they had like backups from before everyone started roiding out and they would like switch them out. Like in the back room. They like literally drilled a hole in the room where they kept them, like the piss vaults.
This is
And-
wild.
yeah. Well, 'cause there was-
Piss
The
vault?
greatest
It was-
heist of all
What?
time.
I think it had to have been like the Sochi Olympics because I'm like they had the home court
It was
advantage.
it was one of the recent ones.
Yeah, so like they had like a little like in behind a filing cabinet, a hole where they would just like put the piss
What the
and then
hell?
grab the other piss and put the clean piss there. And that's how they're like everyone's clean. I guess they're fine. And then there's like oh no, they all were doped up.
That's fucking.
Someone's got to know, man. I feel like
Wild.
you have such a robust system that like.
It was
But
literally
also
a
just
hole in the
like
wall.
What?
I mean, you could just see when especially like even during the documentary, the media was just like, look at the difference between like this season and this
Yeah.
season. They're 3 times fucking larger than
Yeah.
they were.
For
And-
like 2 years.
Yeah. And it's just like something's going on here. It's not just straight lifting.
Yeah.
Steroids is pretty easy to like look at and be like that person's probably.
Oh, for sure.
Because it's just it's like inhumanly large.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
It's like like butt.
Small nuts.
It's
and
like
zits
the-
on your back.
Yeah, the bodybuilders.
Pull those nuts out. Let me see what you're working with.
Is that your
That's-
roid
that's your
test?
test.
We're
You're
not
like,
gonna test your blood or your
couple of big-
urine. You're just
I
gonna
don't
go,
even know what the standard
Couple of
circumference of a nut is.
is?
Like I have no clue.
Yeah, what if you've been rocking like enlarged nuts for your whole life?
Right.
and then they shrink down
And
the
then,
normal size.
No. And then you try to test somebody, you're like, everyone's on roids. You're like, but you actually have just 2 large eggs.
The first person you test has abnormally large nuts, and then
Yeah.
everyone else is smaller. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you're on roids, you're on roids.
the average size
Okay.
of an adult male testicle
Okay.
is 4 by 3 by 2.
Okay,
In
you need
what
to
year?
give me units because if those were inches, I'd say go to the hospital.
It's up to your imagination.
4 by
But it's
2
not, it's
by...
not up to your imagination.
What?
There's
It's
very
centimeters.
Oh, okay.
4 centimeters by 3 centimeters by 2 centimeters.
It did.
I'm trying.
Griff
Because it's like an
4 inches. It's like a 2 by 4.
they're not balls, right? They're like egg shaped.
Mine are
Yeah, they're
perfectly
like-
spherical. Okay, perfectly round.
Yeah? Is it the steroids that shrunk one side down?
No, this guy's clean. I'm the control.
rounded
This is
them
the
out.
before.
If you just
Yeah,
keep
I'm the
like
before.
squeezing it, can you elongate them over time? You're
No,
just like,
I don't have
Roll 'em out.
a testy astigmatism.
Fredo's trying to shape his testicles like a mighty bean.
roll them out.
He just like, and then he starts
Yeah.
Need the dough, need the dough.
a blow dryer out.
And just like,
Add some heat.
Oh,
again.
God.
Oh God!
Oh, Jesus.
Once you've built up a tolerance, you can really get your elbow in on it.
Oh God. Start building nut calluses. You can really get it.
Oh, God.
You're just like,
That's a worker's man's nuts right there. They're all calloused up, rough around the edges.
It's too smooth. You ain't working them enough.
You guys remember somewhere during quarantine, there was a whole trend on social media that was indicating that the scrotum had taste buds in some way.
Oh yeah, I
You remember that?
Yeah.
And like, and
Dip
then,
your testicles in
and then
soy
people
sauce.
were going around dipping
soy
their
sauce,
their
yeah.
sacks in little things of soy sauce, and I'm just like, who started this trend to say like, I could taste something salty because my balls are hanging in some in some soy sauce.
I mean,
Somebody started a trend and got fools all around the world to be dipping their nuts in various condiments.
you know, someone cracked open a bag of cocaine and started rubbing their nuts all over it.
See how this works.
They're like, this is gonna work. This is gonna
It's like
work.
that scene in Step Brothers where he's like, "Don't touch my drum set," and then he starts rubbing his nuts all over.
Dude, that was such a shocking scene.
Dude, that they
'Cause
actually
was like, there's
flopped it
actual nuts that
Yeah.
flopped onto the drum set.
mean,
I
they
was
were-
like, Jesus Christ, those are real nuts.
They were reaching too. I
It
was
was
like,
just like smearing up. That movie is so quotable.
that man's got
It's
rough
so
nuts.
Good.
Yeah.
Stretched them out and everything.
yeah. But I'm just like, I just remember that, and I. Did
you ever try it?
I just no. I don't know if the science is true or not, but I'm not going to be one of those fools dipping my
No.
No one would.
gonads
No.
But
in
us.
a bundle of condiments. You know?
What if you put condiments inside of a condom and then you slipped it on? Do you think?
Ah,
Ugh.
a little tight. That's
how
not
you,
the
That's how
anatomy
you
built
cut
for
up
it.
your urethra.
That's true, and then I can test to see if it'll.
Oh God, I forgot I left ketchup in there. My bad. Jesus
No, the
Christ.
healing piss will
Christ.
come. It'll be fine.
Oh.
Oh man.
Do you guys have 2 holes down there?
No,
Yeah.
it's like a cloaca for men.
It's not like a piss hole and a cum hole.
Well, no.
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 It's the same
No.
hole.
Gross.
There's just 2 different
Yeah.
tubes.
Okay, that's what I meant.
It all connects deeper back in.
Yeah.
Up,
There's 2 tubes, 1 hole.
yeah.
2 dudes.
Yeah, yeah,
Gross.
yeah.
Okay.
Not 2 dudes, 1 hole. Sorry. Two.
Two dudes,
2 tubes.
Two. Jeez, fuck. I'm having a stroke right now.
two tubes,
I'm having a
one
stroke.
dude.
Are you okay?
Two
No,
tubes, one dude.
this happens to me a lot, Griff. I've got issues forming words sometimes, and then I get stuck on one word.
They
and
get
then-
stuck in the tube.
Is the
They
word
get
you're
s-
stuck on nut?
It's not nuts. It's
Okay.
I'm trying to say two. I'm trying to say two. I keep trying to say tudes, but I can't say tubes. Jesus fuck.
I mean,
tubes.
Dudes
leave it with
works. That's 2 dudes.
That's tudes.
Yeah, it's like a whole complex piping system, but just like a house, the plumbing just comes together at the last point, and then
Yeah.
then it's just then it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Then it's like I said,
just
a
goes.
cloaca where it does.
Yeah.
It's agnostic
Kinda
to the
gross.
job. It all just goes out one.
Gross.
Just that one time.
Yeah.
Just
Just that-
pissing
just
and
that
coming
once.
At the same time.
Yeah, you only get one chance.
One
Like
opportunity.
I climaxed once, the end.
It's just one in the chamber. That's it. That's
Yeah.
all you got for the rest of your life. Can you
Like Jack
imagine?
Sparrow.
Dude, you get one load for your entire life.
How would you spend that?
Wait. Could you imagine if you had one load
Uh-huh.
that's a guaranteed, like, that'll make a baby,
Uh-huh.
Oh.
right?
You'd-
But you just got the one load.
Only got
Yeah.
one.
How many? You know how many lack of children there would be on?
Oh yeah, we would be gone generations.
Look,
ago.
there'd be a lot.
Centuries
There'd be
ago.
there'd be a lack of children, but there'd be a lot less fatherless children.
It's true.
If you got one load, it's pretty
true.
It's just
special.
one and done,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I would have loved to have been a one load baby. Dad, please come back. Trevor's face. It's just.
Yeah, so how many loads do you have in
yeah.
your family?
I mean,
Just one.
Is there a limited amount
No.
of before like you just start wearing your semen count thin?
No.
No.
Because
No?
Well-
literally, they'll get a woman pregnant like in their 70s. It's fucked up.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a new trend.
In her 70s?
No, in his 70s.
Oh, in his 70s,
Like dudes
right.
can make a baby forever.
Yeah,
Basically.
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Till
But
you die.
speaking of microplastics, though, I read an article recently that was like,
Wait, what?
will men become impotent, right, or infertile by 2047 or 2045 or whatever?
Oh shit.
Because they look back at the 70s to today, and it's like everything has gone down like 50%. Like sperm count is way down, and
all the Mountain Dew.
viability is like all way down. It's Mountain Dew.
It's Mountain Dew.
It's
Mountain
Yellow
Dew's
Five.
probably-
Yeah, so
like-
Yellow 5 came in and started killing everything.
Well, it's probably this thing in our fucking pocket all
Right,
the time.
right.
And then like things like yeah, it's okay.
That's fine.
There's-
Or just like laptops, like you just sit right on your nutsack and just
that's-
warming it
it's-
up.
I think that's
It's
more.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
It's I mean, what if Wi-Fi is the
Is our
is
smoking
the
on
is the
planes.
lead? Is this Wi-Fi's are smoking on planes?
I always think about that. I'm like, what-
Microplastics
yeah,
are
or
leaded
lead.
gas.
Because
Yeah.
there's gonna be something.
Yeah.
There's something that we're doing right now
Yeah.
that someone in like 2016 is gonna be
Yes.
like, I can't believe they did that.
It's
Yeah.
w-
5G is our asbestos.
One of those things is you brought up the dipping your balls in soy sauce. You ever see the jacuzzi for your nuts
no
trend?
but that doesn't seem
No.
good either. It's
No.
supposed- it's
Is it like
either
a baby
outside
pot?
of
A
you.
bunch of doctors came out saying,
don't want
please don't
hot
dip your
nuts."
nuts in a hot water. You're gonna kill your fucking sperm. You're gonna.
That's why
you're
they're
gonna,
doing
you're
it.
gonna-
Wait, so is it bad
just gonna
being a
cook your
jacuzzi?
nuts.
Yeah, you're cooking
yeah,
your
you're not
nuts.
supposed to do that.
You're not supposed to be in there for very long.
You're supposed to keep them cool, right?
Right.
And
That's
airy
why
and
I ice
breezy.
them. They're currently being iced.
What?
But you won't use soy sauce.
But well, it's flavorless ice.
Someone should patent that.
Oh,
An ice pack just for your nuts. It's
Well,
just
you could
shaped.
also-
It's just shaped to cradle your scrotum.
yeah.
And it's got gel packs on the bottom.
They need to make it waterproof so I could be in a jacuzzi.
And make it waterproof.
Dude, when I'm in a jacuzzi,
Right,
I'm in there for like hours.
Right, you're boiling your eggs.
Oh no!
Yeah, you're
I'll probably have to nut in some tubes and freeze them.
some frozen.
I mean, a lot of people do.
Dude.
that.
Yeah.
There was a story about a woman that was born a few years ago, but she,
Tube baby?
as a human, was was a fertilized egg from
Yeah.
like '92.
Oh.
But then she was inseminated into a woman who was born in like '95 or something. She then grew up to be
She's
an adult.
older than her.
And so, yeah, so
She's
she
older
gave
than
birth
her.
to an egg, a fertilized egg that was older than
A
she
Gen
was.
Z person gave birth
To a millennial. Yeah, essentially. And
Well,
and that's-
why, though?
And so that's like, well, why I don't know. To see if possible, but yeah, that was
Well,
a
I mean, don't
situation
they,
where it
in
was
some-
like
in some
frozen
ca-
for 20 years. or
Don't they in
something.
some cases? It was stuck. It was
Jesus
stuck. You know how phones stick to this?
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah, you have. You know,
Oh.
Oh, okay, yeah. Imagine caseless.
I'm school.
I guess like
very good.
some places they depending on like genetics and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that they track all that and then they go okay we'll take your sperm give you a little money and then
Whose was it?
She's a sperm bank.
whose was it?
Whose embryo was that?
Oh, I don't know.
She just got a rando?
I
They were
mean,
"We
I don't
had-
know how
is
all that
Were they
part
cleaning out the freezer and they found one in the back? Just in
We
the
got one in the back.
They was like, oh shit, I forgot about
No,
that.
she's
then
still fine. It was like
and then it's
Jurassic
someone
Park.
of historical significance. You're like their bloodline has continued.
She was actually stored in a Barbasol can that they smuggled off of an island
Yeah.
called Infant Island, where the babies roam in herds.
Then-
Yeah, science is wild like that. But I mean, I think that I've noticed a lot of people in our generation are having kids later than our parents, which were later than their parents. And I wonder if it's going to get to a point where people start, proactively freezing all their bits and bobs, so that way, maybe
Yeah.
when, two generations from now, they're going to be like, I'm 55. It's time I start thinking about a family.
Yeah. Well,
And the average life expectancy is like 250 or something.
We're having fun.
I'm looking to have kids sooner than later, man. I
Yeah.
gotta be able to dunk on them motherfuckers before they get big. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Like, I can't be like 60 and all of a sudden,
Geriatric.
my first real game with my son, he's just fucking juking me out.
Yeah.
And just, I can't
He's
do
like,
shit.
keep up, old man.
I gotta be able to bully this little guy for just a little bit.
Just a little
Just
bit.
a little bit.
You're gonna have that character will be lost in generations' time, where they they'll all be born to like parents that are just barely kicking it.
Yeah.
That's
Do you think we're getting to a point,
too much.
like at a societal point, where people just won't want to have kids?
I know.
Definitely. We're
Just like
we're
in
there
general.
now.
Oh,
We're at a
dude.
historical
It's
low.
expensive.
It's expensive, and also it's been 106 degrees every day for 2 months. I don't know.
NASA's saying it's going to be worse next year.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
So,
also
yeah.
said we're supposed to have like one of the worst winters
Yeah.
because of how hot it's been.
Yeah.
So like the
So-
climate change is gonna
No.
be fucking.
I think I'm just
Ocean
gonna.
Winters here
temperatures
fucking
are-
suck.
Yeah, I'm just like not
Because
gonna have
it's
a
like-
baby in that.
Yeah. I heard one of the key
Houses,
like
man.
currents in the Atlantic is also like slowing down
Yeah.
to the point where they're worried it might just kind of stop or wind down over the course of next like 20 years.
Are the wind streams that we use to fly are
Yeah.
also fucking up? Like it's making flights like bumpier.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of crosswinds
And,
happening.
yeah, it's
Your
like fucking up
eddies,
like
yeah.
flights.
all that.
Yeah, because they'd be like, oh yeah, we can always use the stream to like get to blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, it tried to kill us.
And this
Yeah.
is because we're
Yeah.
just fucking up the ozone layer.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Well, not us.
not ozone.
us.
That we
No.
we somehow figured that one
70
out
corporations.
a couple decades ago. But I mean, I don't know enough about science to go out here and
Melting the
start
ice caps.
spouting opinions. But
Yeah.
like, there's definitely a human element to
Yeah.
this where there are
You can
demonstrable
confidently say.
impacts where we've done things. But then there's also the fact that the planet's just changed a lot over time. I think
Yeah.
we're just accelerating
fault.
some of that natural shift where like, biomes have been in totally different places. Like we take for granted right now, like the Sahara is a desert and that, Brazil is rainforest climate. But like things have moved all over the place depending.
Pangea.
Yeah, well, continents have moved certainly, but also like where wind currents and
Yeah.
ocean currents collide and how those create climate has also moved. So it's like the world is wild and shifting all the time.
It
Texas
doesn't
is-
help that like humans are like locusts. We just like
Yeah.
move and consume.
And destroy everything.
We're definitely
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
virus.
Yeah. No, we are.
Like Agent
Humans are the
Smith.
virus. Yeah.
I want to rub Morpheus's head, smell his sweat,
Dude, that was
and then go,
Scene.
I can smell you.
Are you saying?
And I'm
you
like,
believe in
you're
climate
technically
change?
the virus, Mr. Man, right? Mr. Program, but now he's.
Trevor,
So
are you saying you
lifted.
believe in climate change?
I'm saying I'm a believer.
You're a sheep.
You know what?
Man.
Take me
These-
in the herd.
These sheeple who believe the planet's changing.
My one fear is that
This Earth is the same Earth I knew
my
back
one
in
fear is that
'59.
we gonna melt too many ice caps and then something's gonna come out.
Oh,
Like a
right.
like a
Oh,
like
I can't wait for
like
a kaiju to pop out.
Not even that. Like no, I mean like some weird disease that we don't even know
Right.
about
Oh,
that
sure.
got like in
the
permafrost.
fucking
The
like
worm?
zombie disease worm thing that they pulled out and defrosted.
Yeah, they
and-
brought a 40,000-year-old worm back alive.
Yeah.
Well, then, like,
yeah,
recently-
and it just recently had babies.
Yeah.
It immediately started reproducing.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
They
Yeah.
found a worm that was in permafrost. It was
Yeah.
like 4,000 or 40,000. I don't remember. It's
So it was
old as shit.
Yes, it was
And
like
they-
40,000.
They revived it and it immediately started reproducing,
Yeah,
which is horrifying.
yeah. It's
'Cause
immediately
what
firing
what
its
that
one
worm
load.
do? We don't know what that's for. What is that
I
thing?
know.
What was-
What do you feed off
The
of?
government
What does
just
it
How'd
is
you
do?
like,
get there?
it's-
What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it asexual?
Could be.
It has to be if it
Well,
started
what it said- yeah,
reproducing
there's-
Well, what if
immediately.
it was frozen like that baby from the
Like-
early 90s, right? And then like, it could be
Just
born.
started,
Yeah.
just started reproducing.
immediately?
I mean, that's like humans going like, how can we make money off of this thing?
Ugh.
And then it's just like, well, how about no?
Right, Jurassic Park kind of makes a
Right.
lot of sense now when you think
You okay,
about
Joe?
it.
No, that's fucking frightening.
Right?
That's
Dude,
fucking frightening.
I just keep going. No one's really freaking out about.
We're gonna
this.
die.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
No,
And
we're
now it's
fully gonna
producing. It's
die.
like, I don't.
I start to think
No.
about like, in a less facetious but kind of practical sense, like all those like biosamples stuck in amber or in ice
Yeah.
or anywhere. You start to think like, what viable virus that could absolutely
Wreck our
just
shit.
just like flatline us
That's what I'm
is
saying.
right in front of our eyes. Like there's like a dinosaur tail that is in a piece of amber, and you can see like all the feathers and stuff coming off. It's sick. But like you look at that and you go, there's something in there. Like it's like in 2022,
Something
if you
happened.
went out for the first time, if you quarantined then you
Yeah.
went out. Every time I went out, I'd be like, COVID's in this room somewhere. Like it
Ugh.
is.
Yeah.
I still think that every time I go.
Oh,
every
yeah.
time I'm in the room,
It's
I'm
in
like,
this room.
one of you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
One of you asymptomatic fucks.
To see, I don't know, humans, like, there's a lot of scientific discoveries that happen. Humans are evolving, sure. We're getting smarter, we're learning new things.
We're
But it
running
reminds
out of
me of kind of like, you guys ever see Transformers? Right, the first Transformers?
Robots in
Which one?
disguise.
Okay,
Yeah.
Transformers one.
Yeah,
Okay,
Transformers 1. Okay. It's like how humans
Dark Side of
dug
the
up,
Moon?
Yeah,
dug up
there's a lot of them.
Megatron,
Yeah.
right? NBE 1,
Uh-huh.
put him in the Hoover Dam.
Yeah.
And just said, yeah, he's gonna stay in cryostasis forever. Nothing will ever go wrong. If they just left him
Yeah.
in the polar ice cap,
Yeah. That's permafrost.
he would have never woken up. He probably would have been okay.
Would have eventually
until
melted, and then still fucked some shit up.
Yeah, but at least, you know.
Well, here's what you do. He's stuck there in ice. You just destroy the motherfucker right then and there.
Right. You
Yeah,
send him
yeah,
to
yeah.
the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that.
Turn him into Icarus.
So you're saying is we should like murder all the billionaires? Because I feel like that. I feel like we're on the same page about
Oh, what you're saying is
'cause
Megatron
that. Is
a
Jeff Bezos?
Yeah.
caricature
Dam.
of the billionaire.
Yeah, and the Hoover Dam is a guillotine.
Okay. The analogy is materializing.
Yeah.
Pop that
I'm,
thing.
yeah.
I'm
more
not well read
information.
enough to understand what you're saying.
We get
so
all the
please
ex-
continue.
we get all the very-
Marie Antoinette.
And then okay.
Love the meat cake.
Yes. Say la vie.
And then we eat them.
Dot.
And then we eat the rich.
It's very back. It's very. It's not backward. I don't think backward's the right word, but it's very
But it's also a part.
I'm gonna get
of
this
the
away from my
plot
balls
for
real
Fast
quick.
X.
Are you scared now? It's
Well,
killing your
here's the
balls?
thing. Here's the thing. You guys got me all thinking about this. I was driving yesterday and I was like looking up instructions of where I was going, and I was like, instead of just like,
For context,
Instead of,
Trevor
like-
took his phone out of his pocket,
Yeah.
and then Fredo started rubbing his phone all over his nuts.
yeah. And
Yeah, you ain't gonna get no kids out of me.
but you that's your problem.
Yeah, that's your kid.
Smash cut that against him saying, I'm trying to have kids as soon as
Yeah.
possible. You know, I don't know what's gonna happen to these poor guys.
Fredo would have wasted the one load. You know what I mean? Like he would.
He would have been like 12.
science,
First
though.
direction, he goes, whoa!
I mean, the smartest thing
And
to do
then
would be
he-
to freeze the first load, right?
Yeah.
Freeze
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
and
you
then
freeze
you're
it.
free to do whatever you want after that.
Yeah.
Just use
Then
it
you
when
just
want.
It'd be
keep
like
unloading.
it'd be a full industry of like.
After
load
that, it just-
freezing.
Oh, they'd be so pricey. They'd
Yeah,
jack up the
it'd be
price
so
for that.
crazy.
For
Man,
sure.
what happens after that? Like when you, is it like a fart then? Just like an empty blank?
No, I mean,
Oh, you're gonna make me.
It's still
And it's just like-
come out. It just wouldn't
Just a little
be.
bit of pee.
Yeah.
It'd be blank.
it's like a spritz. It's like one of those spray
blank.
bottles.
Yeah.
It's-
Well, dudes that get their tubes tied with this vasectomy,
vasectomy.
they
Oh,
still
vasectomy, yeah.
cum stuff. There's
Yeah,
no-
it's just
Right.
There's
Yeah.
just no guys
There's
that.
no
There's
didn't
the
know that.
sperm and then
Yeah,
there's
there's
the
just no
semen and
sperm
then
in
they
it.
mix together and then they
Yeah.
become the load. But
So yeah, they're not just like
Just.
it's just like it's the semen
The-
part,
the-
the liquid.
They took out the active.
the
They took
clear.
out the active ingredient.
Yeah.
yeah. But no, I was driving yesterday and I thought about this because just with my left hand the way it is, like I can't really tuck things in and out of my pocket super easy. So I just go whatever, and I just like just so it doesn't fall or whatever. And I just like put it between my legs, and then I'm like, now I'm just nestled on a shelf of radiation. You know what I mean? Like I've just got my bits and bobs settled down on a 5G platter.
maybe that's the key to mutants. You radiate your
Certainly.
balls so that your
Okay,
sperm
well,
sucks up the
You're not
radiation.
gonna
Shit,
get any
okay, well, I'm convinced
superheroes.
again. God damn
and then
it,
you
I'm
shoot
locked in.
radiated sperm, and then create super babies.
Right.
That's how mutants are born. is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
That's
Oh.
how Nightcrawler came to be.
Yeah.
That's why he can teleport around. He's like, I actually use the 5G network to get in and out of this place.
Look, they built me a new teleportation point.
Yeah. hey, my signal's great here. And he goes, thanks AT&T.
Yeah.
And he's actually in his superhero shirt. He's got Verizon, and then every now and then he has to update though based on the newest signal.
I can't think about Nightcrawler, and I told a story a handful of times. So I'll make it short. But just like the Jake Gyllenhaal thriller, Nightcrawler, Jackie went, saw that movie, and then the credits rolled, and she was like, "Wait, when does he become a mutant?"
wait, the Jake Gyllenhaal movie?
Yeah, because she thought it was like
Right.
a Nightcrawler like origin story.
Wow, this is a weird origin story. He's got a
That's
really
so
morbid
funny.
flavor.
credits
That's
rolled,
so funny.
and she was like,
When's he go blue?
"Wait, he's not. When did he turn blue?"
You should have turned to her and said, "It's just the part one.
Yeah.
Part two will. Part two
Samuel
explodes the
Jackson
shit."
comes
Think
in the
about
after
that
credits and
anymore.
is like, I want to talk to you about
I'm putting
X-Men
together
movie.
a group. Yeah, I'm starting a thing.
Talented youths.
Yeah, man. But did you guys hear recently that people have figured out how to turn, much like The Dark Knight, turn Wi-Fi into cameras?
Oh,
Basically, like
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, they could just take existing Wi-Fi signals and turn them into it's just like a 3D
I hate
camera,
that.
a spatial camera.
That's fucked up.
Absolutely. And so that might be our next Let It Gap too.
They swapped to Trevor's fucking camera. His nose, it's just his nuts, and then it's just his nose
like
poking
the
out
most
from like from behind
I'll give the angle.
seam of the pants.
I'll give the angle to my camera.
Just driving.
Yeah, I'll have a number 5. Oh, thanks, dear. Thank you.
But that's kind of freaky. So I'm wondering if they're gonna have to come up with a new protocol. Cause like we kind of just like say, whatever, it's already there. They can already access it. Screw it, right? Like the whole like they got us by the balls, so like just give up, right? Like they've already got our data, so why do we care even for like? There's this want to stop fighting and to just roll with it as things get worse. But I don't know, man. That's kind of freaky, and I don't know enough about it to fully understand it. But I feel like something needs to come along and fix that.
See, now it's just like the looming pressure of like, do I sell nudes now before it gets leaked for free?
That's
Right,
true.
right.
For free?
Right, you don't want that wide angle perspective
Yeah.
from there
No.
unless I'm selling it.
You
to
can
you.
make money off your
Look,
body.
I'll be honest. If my shit gets leaked, I'm blasting social media. I'm putting out like better angles of that shit. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be flattering.
this
It's
one's
not gonna be flattering.
This one's pixelated.
You know
You're
what I
like,
mean?
"Fine, I'll
Like,
fix it. I'll fix
if they
it.
connect in my closet, you know what I mean? I walk in butt-ass naked because I'm getting something out of my closet, and all of a sudden the connect leaks, they take the photo and leaks it because they got hacked or some shit.
Yeah, you've been
That's
teasing
gonna
something
be
for
the
6 months, and then
shittiest,
it just gets
mega-
released.
That's what I'm talking about. It's the shittiest megapixel photo ever. And it's gonna look all gloomy and sad. The lighting's gonna be shit. And I'm like, nah, dog, I gotta correct this.
You think there's an audience out there that would just buy butthole pics?
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
Like just like, but
If
they don't know
you-
who the person looks like. It's just butthole
No,
pics.
for sure.
If you were,
No, I think so. Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
what? Like
yeah.
I mean, maybe you just got a really nice looking butthole, you know? And like
I have
people
no
just-
idea what my butthole looks like.
I don't know.
You
either.
never looked at your butthole?
You haven't
No.
gotten in
That's
there before?
crazy.
I know what my butthole feels like. I don't know what it looks like.
Right. Now,
I
so
have no idea
what
what
you
it
need to
looks
do
like.
is make a topographical map using your hand like a sonar.
No, you just
And
get
so
a-
you need
you
to
get a
kind of like
piece of
feel it
paper.
out and then
You need to
sketch
connect-
it.
you need
So
to
one
connect-
hand is feeling and the other hand is sketching what you feel. And then you
Well,
gotta
you
go,
need-
Destiny, how accurate is this? And she will go, Jesus Christ.
What you need to do is just the Trevor method. Put
Yeah.
your phone where your
Yeah.
ass
Right.
goes.
Hold on.
It looks
I think-
up.
And then it sonar.
AT&T will figure this one out.
It sonar blips it, and then it makes a map out of the blip. Sideways, and it comes back, and it's like,
Yeah.
wow.
And then if you want to measure depth, you get one of those, the kids' toys. You put your face in it. and
Yeah,
it's
like with all
and
those
you
little
put your
nails
hand
or
in all the
whatever.
nails. You do that.
Some silly putty.
That's true.
Silly
Really
putty.
good.
Yeah, dude. That'll.
Yeah, you get a butt mold.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. You'll get down into the crevice.
Yeah. See an exact replica.
Just hire one of those people that make custom ear molds, like earplugs, and then just
Oh,
say,
yeah,
"Can you do it
IEMs,
here?
custom
Because I'm trying to
IEMs.
plug this one."
No, I would hire the people that make chocolate anuses.
Yeah, they're probably really good at it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
They-
the
That is
thing.
the thing.
They know their way
They've
around a couple of
perfected it.
anus.
They've perfected it.
Yeah,
for sure.
right,
they
that's the
figured that
thing.
out. Dude, I was getting brunch a few weekends ago with the Milady and Chris and his lady. A little double date brunch action. It was this
Okay.
place downtown. They had new to the brunch scene. It was still like a relatively new place,
Okay.
but it was new to the brunch scene. And we went there because it was like this gorgeous looking place that we'd seen on like social, because all we do is browse TikTok and it
Yeah.
feeds you all the things that you should do. And I go, I'll become a consumer. But seriously, like the place looked phenomenal. So we were like, all right, let's go get some brunch. We rolled in at like 11. They open at 10:30. And the place is stunning. We sit down, we're taking a look at this brunch menu. And it's like only a few things that are like brunchy, like your chicken and waffles or your biscuit and gravy, your parfaits, or
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then they also had some of their
Huge.
classic items,
Yeah.
like a burger and stuff.
Yeah.
So we sit down, we're chatting, we're talking, and then the lady comes through, and we're like, oh yeah, no, definitely want to get some waters for the table, but also like would love to get started with like a coffee.
Yeah.
Right. It's 11 a.m. Let's like wake up a little bit
Yeah.
because we're adults and we're addicted to
Caffeine.
caffeine.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
kind of need it to function now. And
Sorry.
I've already slammed mine. But then the woman looks at us and she goes, coffee. We can do an espresso martini. And I was
Ew.
like, oh, hold the teeny. The
Hold
rest
the
sounds
teeny.
fine. And so we all kind of like look at each other and we go, no, you can't do coffee. She's like, coffee. It's like she heard it for the first time. And I was like,
What?
I was like, this person might be a Turing test AI entity. Like this might be a robot a little bit. So I'm like, ease off the throttle. You know, you don't want to create a sort of Terminator situation.
No.
You don't want to aggro anyone here. But
My finger's broken. Can you do this capture for me?
right. Here, like, what does this look like to you? Which identify the dog. That's the fire hydrant. Interesting. So she goes, oh, well, let me think of, like, I think we can, let me go talk to the chef. I think we can whip
The
something
chef?
up. Right. And so I'm like, okay, maybe she's making this feel like an ordeal. Like, so we're like, whatever. Like, she'll go back and figure it out. She comes back with 2 highball glasses filled to the brim with some it was just cold brew. I was like, excellent. I was like, perfect. But the way she went about it was like that scene in Always Sunny where they're like, orange juice. You drink mixer? You just drink straight mixer? It was kind of that attitude, but like in a much more like sincere
Were they
way.
young or were they old?
I would say like mid to late 20s.
No excuse.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
You've heard of Starbucks.
Yeah.
And so like I'm like maybe this place like maybe the brunch is so new and like they're mostly used to being a cocktail place. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what's going on. But anyway, we got through the hump. We got ourselves the cold brew. It was immaculate. I was buzzing. And then it comes to the menu, and I'm like, I'm eyeballing the chicken and waffles. It just sounds phenomenal.
Delicious.
Like good protein, good carbs, sweet sugars. I want it. But Barbara was like, hey, what would you recommend? Like, we know the brunch menu is new. Here we are now, 11:15 a.m. and she's like, well, the lobster mac is to die for. It's just very good. But also, like, I just like can't recommend the burger enough. And we're like, okay, oh, thanks. Like those look like really, really good options for sure. And what about like
What about brunch?
well, like we haven't, yeah, it's like Barbara's being very sweet about
Yeah.
it.
I want
And-
something like a little, like it's only 11. I don't
Right.
know.
She's like, it's a little early for like something heavy like that. And she goes, oh, you want something like breakfast. You want something like breakfast food.
You want the burger.
And I silently turned to Chris and gestured to the brunch at the top of the menu. I was like, and because I don't want to be rude or whatever, but like I was just so thrown by this waitress.
You're training an AI for sure.
I
No.
think we were definitely
You know what it
training
was?
somebody.
You took someone from they took someone from TikTok who has been doing the AI train. They didn't snap out of character. They woke up. They've been doing it for days on end,
They're stuck
and they
in
just went into
NCC mode.
autopilot mode. And it's like
understand.
Yeah. And
ice
so-
cream, yum yum,
Right.
yum yum.
It was the AI.
Yeah,
like,
it was like
thanks for the roses.
coffee?
Oh,
NPC.
roses.
Coffee.
You broke them.
Yeah,
you,
right.
You didn't say
Thanks for the
espresso
roses.
martini.
Thanks for the roses. Thanks for the roses. Right.
Oh, it's because they don't have brunch. They don't have brunch emojis. Like just gifts to send
If
to
we
the.
asked with emojis, it would have shifted the tune. But it kind of didn't really stop there, and I started.
Oh.
This is where I really started to wonder. I'm like, maybe this person is an AI, and we are in we've woken up in a different world, and we're just not ready for it. But
I like that this changed your entire worldview.
Yeah.
This
well,
brunch experience.
it was interesting, but like
it wasn't Chris's fault.
so everything on the menu, I have to mention. Right, Chris was the norm in this scenario. But everything on the menu had the option to add avocado for some reason.
Okay.
It was just
Like,
like
the chicken and waffles too.
yeah, I'm like, and add avocado plus $2. I'm like, very interesting, no thank you. But Barbara got a parfait, and just to get some like healthy fats, she just likes avocado. She's like, can I get a side of avocado with that? And the person's like, what? Side?
What? This must be like you guys are on a prank show.
I'm looking
Like,
for
there's
cameras
just
at this
like,
point.
no way.
But she's like, I
doesn't make any
think
sense.
she's like, I think we can figure that out. I think I can work that one
Two
out.
slices
If
of
it's all over the
avocado.
I'm
Barbara,
so confused.
Barbara's theory was if you make everything feel like a mountainous task,
Yeah.
then maybe you can like get some more tip out of it.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this must have all been so difficult to accomplish.
Yeah.
Let's really make sure the tip is proportionate, right?
What
Maybe
like
she was high.
cumbersome English.
She might have been. She could have been.
She's just been high too.
She was
A little
perfectly
bit-
kind,
little bit of
very
weed.
sweet,
Yeah.
but I mean, the food was, like, jumping to the chase, the food was great.
Did she blink did both her eyes blink at the same time,
No,
or
but
were they
you know
alternating?
What? You know what? I don't think she did blink, but
Did she blink
s-
sideways? Like a lizard person.
No, she didn't blink, but the weird thing was, and I did catch this at the end, she would say blink, but her eyes would stay open. Every now and then she would
Definitely
say
not an AI.
blink,
That's a
blink,
human.
breathe,
That's a human.
Yeah.
blink, breathe,
Yeah.
ask question, and then she would prompt us with a
What is
preloaded
avocado?
question. I think what happened was she went back to the kitchen and the chef popped out the cartridge,
Yeah.
blew it,
Yeah.
popped it back in, and then after that she seemed perfect.
Smacked her on the head a couple times, and then it's like, all right, now it's good to go.
Right, like just moved
Oh,
the
reset.
antenna a
And then
little
the
bit.
avocado fucking fried the circuits again.
But the food was great. I just almost want to take you back to see if we can re-encounter that, re-experience that, because I do think in hindsight it might have been more of a like social club that also has food where their forte is cocktails,
Yeah.
right? And then it's mostly like you go there to kind of like hang out, chat, have meetings. It's kind of like Soho House,
Yeah.
which I've only ever been to once.
Soho
but
House
like,
is awesome. I really enjoyed it.
it's cool, but it's like exclusive.
It is exclusive.
So, but man, the chicken and waffles though were to die for, and they had this like pineapple syrup.
Ooh, now that sounds lit.
Well, I'm gonna eat good after
very good.
this. Hey, you mentioned Always Sunny. You guys have been watching the latest season?
I haven't. Is it out now?
Yeah, there's episodes that are
Okay.
rolling out.
I allow myself to forget it so I can
Yeah.
then binge it.
Same.
It still hits.
Yeah?
Does it really?
Yeah, there's
Hell
there's
yeah.
a scene where it's like the men versus the women,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna have like a bowl off, and they go to like this arcade. The bowling place has like an arcade section,
Yeah.
and it has one of those like punching bag machines where it measures how strong you are.
Oh, that's perfect for them.
And so like Dennis and the waitress are like going at it, and then Dennis is like, go for it, go.
Yeah.
And then the waitress kicks it, and then the number just goes through the roof.
Oh, kicked it.
Yeah, and then
That's
Dennis is
cool.
like, I didn't know we were kicking. I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't prepared. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then Dennis is like panicking, and he goes up to it, he looks at it, and he just goes, I summon the power of being a man. And he hits it, and the number outshatters, skyrockets.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
They
and
just
then
get addressed like with laser precision whatever's in the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
And they do
Yeah.
it with like, because their characters embody the ignorance of society.
100%.
And they
They're
do it
all just
so
terrible
well.
people.
Oh,
But then
yeah.
he turns to the guys and he goes, "What I need you to do is find me a room immediately where I can scream. My hand is completely broken. It's just blood and bone soup. Find me a room immediately."
It's just a bag of blood and bones. That is phenomenal.
I was like, yeah, okay, this show still hits.
So let me ask you then, because I've seen some recent episodes, but I can't remember if it was from last season or
Yeah.
this season, because I did forget mid-season last year, and I came back to them.
Nice.
Because I knew this season was coming. So was the one where they go to Ireland for like basically
Oh.
half a season, was that last season or this one?
I think that was
Believe-
last season.
yeah, that was
Okay,
last.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. And like, I don't remember it very well because I watch it all in one sitting and then I
Yeah,
never rewatch it.
same.
But I loved how Dennis was like, was he trying to kill Frank in the castle? But he cut out
yeah,
holes
yeah.
behind
Yeah,
a
he
giant
did.
portrait.
Yeah, he did.
And so he's looking from behind the painting,
he was,
like you
like,
just
sick
see
or
his eyes so
something.
obviously.
I think he had COVID, but he was like refusing.
That's what it was.
Yes,
That's what it was.
He was like, I'm not sick.
He's talking to the travel agent, trying not to cough. He's like, I will do the talking. Glenn Howerton is such a treasure.
Yeah.
I think I'm the
Very
only one
good.
that doesn't watch Always Sunny.
Oh,
You
you'd
should.
enjoy it.
Like
pretty
Destiny
good.
watches it.
What's your staple show? What's like the like your comfort
When you're
zone?
sad, what do you rewatch?
When you come back to it, like The Office, Parks and Rec.
Ooh, that's a good question. I never really thought about it. Probably Law and Order SVU.
Yeah. When I'm
Like, no
feeling
joke.
down-
I don't know why.
I was like,
Crime
Ah,
shows.
put me in the
I don't
cherry.
know. Crime shows always
I'm gonna
just.
shoot my one load.
I remember that episode, yeah.
We found one load at the scene.
I don't know if I have a comfort show.
So you need to watch like The Wire and stuff?
The Wire.
Yeah.
What's The Wire?
Oh,
It's like 24, but a different show.
I've never
What's
seen The Wire
24?
either.
It's like Law and Order,
wait,
but a different
you're
show.
fucking-
I know NCIS.
It's like NCIS, but a different
That's
show.
that's boat crimes, right?
Oh yeah.
Was that
What
boat
about
crimes?
CSI Miami?
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. But I don't know. I guess I never really just watched too much TV growing up. Like I didn't watch a lot.
Did you
so-
watch one episode of every show?
No, not like that. I watched one show, whatever episodes I could watch that were on at the time. I don't think I've ever like really binged a show except for probably The Office, but The Office is like that one show that I don't know. Like you can go back and watch it. It's fun. It's nice.
Yeah.
And like it's funny, but I don't really like watch it out of comfort. I don't
Yeah.
know. Comfort show. I don't
Yeah.
know, man. That's like
Well,
kinda
like
stumped me as a
when
person.
you're like, I don't know what to watch. Let's just
Yeah.
put someone on in the background while
Yeah.
we cook dinner. You throw on like
Whatever.
just a show that you know
Law and Order
hits.
SVU.
Law and Order SVU.
Yeah.
Usually it's like a cooking competition now. For me.
No, No, I don't really put on shows. I think like that used to be like Marvel movies for me. I would throw on
Oh,
Marvel movies whenever
that's
we just wanted to
crazy.
throw something on.
Yeah.
And like we're doing stuff around the house. I would always
That makes
throw
sense,
on like
actually.
the older like Marvel movies, like Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2, I built an Iron Man suit
My
one
build.
summer, and I would just watch it over and over again while I was like cutting up foam.
How many
That's
times did he
such a
say,
great one.
"I want my bird"?
Dude,
My bird.
I want my
bird.
bird. This is not my bird.
Not my bird.
Yeah, when I was sick earlier this year, I watched Iron Man 1 and 2,
Hell yeah.
and that was like really nice because I was like up and down, like sleeping, awake, and just like trying to take my mind off of just feeling like, terrible.
Yeah.
And yeah, Iron Man 1, that's a perfect spot.
All the first like Marvel movies have a very different feel for
Oh,
Marvel
yeah.
movies now.
Yeah, they
Like
do.
much more serious, a little bit more like darker.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tony Stark gets an IED in his chest. That's pretty.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, by his own
his own
weapon that he created.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty. That's a hard place to start and go lower from, you know?
Yeah.
Go lower from.
So I feel like that's why they had to go up in tone after
I
that.
just remember just being like a young comic book nerd, watching Iron Man, going, "This is actually really good." I'm so surprised.
Yeah.
Also, Iron Man, like what
Yeah.
what a choice, because he wasn't super popular. Like,
No.
there were way more popular
They-
Marvel characters.
Yeah.
They like had all the ones that they were like, because like when Sony bought Spider-Man, they had an opportunity to get all of the Avengers, and they were like, why the fuck would we want that?
Yeah.
Everyone knows Spider-Man. We only
Yeah,
want
we want
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
And then Marvel was just like, okay, I guess we'll
Right.
do something with
In
all these
hindsight,
guys.
you know, it
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense, but in the moment,
Yeah.
like
around Tony Stark.
superhero movies were like a flash in the pan. You
Yeah,
know, they did Fantastic
Catwoman.
Four, yeah, Catwoman. They did try to do some Batman.
Daredevil.
And like, so
Yeah.
they would just be like, you do a thing and then
Elektra.
you step back.
Yeah.
You know?
And then I remember the post-credit scene, Nick Fury showing up and saying, "I want to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative." I
Yeah.
freaked the fuck out. No one else did.
Right, right. I'm like, that sounds like it could be
People were like,
interesting.
I don't know,
It was the
Samuel
second
Jackson.
movie
Everyone was like,
coming.
"Oh, Samuel
Yeah.
Jackson." I was like, "Y'all motherfuckers don't understand what's coming. Like the potential here is unbelievable."
Dude, I'll never forget. I was just obsessed with post-credit scenes in general. So when there was one,
Yeah.
you knew to be hyped. Because
Yeah.
I remember watching really blurry versions of post-credit scenes from like Spider-Man 2,
Yeah.
when it's gonna be Venom, or whatever happened with that, or like Pirates of the Caribbean, where like the monkey actually stole one of the coins. You're going, whoa, the monkey got the coin. The curse is still going. What does that mean? And like, I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
When it, yeah. I mean, and
Teeing
then
up
Marvel
for a
just said,
sequel.
we see that all these like internet forum movie lovers are liking that stuff. We're just gonna do that every time.
There's also just like you just tease it and build up to it. If it works out, cool. If it doesn't,
Exactly.
don't.
Oh yeah.
And then fucking rule.
Leave a lot of fruit on the vine, and then you can come back and harvest if you need.
Then they kept harvesting.
They harvested.
More.
Now I'm a little overwhelmed.
Over harvesting
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit and
Yeah.
start to grow things back in the soil.
Yeah, yeah. We need to replenish the soil.
Yeah, we lost all the nutrients out of
Right.
the
It's like when you cycle soybeans and corn. You gotta
Yeah.
like they
Yeah.
take different
You
nutrients.
can't
gotta
just keep plowing corn.
right.
I rewatched Thor. Oh, not Thor. Jesus Christ. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh God,
Volume
never
3.
Thor.
Oh, no, not Thor. Thor 2 was probably one of the
I don't know if I
worst.
saw
It was the dark.
I might have saw it
yeah.
What
once.
is that?
The Dark World.
Dark World.
I don't.
Yeah.
It was.
It's the one with the ether,
yeah,
which is actually the
Infinity's
reality.
The reality.
Yep.
Stone.
I rewatched Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because it just came out on Disney Plus, and I would say I think Guardians is probably my favorite Marvel trilogy.
Huh.
It's just really well done. It's just fun, and it's a really good it tells a story well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
They didn't want to overstay their welcome. They came in to say like this is going to be the story that we have. I think they planned to have like the trilogy, and like they weren't going to overextend it. Like this is what it's going to be. But to my understanding, much like Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy was definitely
very low.
obscure.
Very
Oh yeah.
Like
no
not
one-
super
no.
popular, and so
No, it's
like
Not at all.
that was another big swing that I
Dude,
think they
after
did
that,
really
I was
well.
like, if they
I
can make
love
Guardians work,
1.
they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
I missed that I didn't see when I watched it in theaters and I rewatched it at home was that they said that Star-Lord will return. I didn't know that he was going to come back. I thought.
He's like, this is the last one. Let's go, honey. And then like, everyone's like, I'm gonna watch that post-credit scene.
What do you think is going to replace
The
Chris
post
Pratt?
credit scene.
Himself.
Well,
He's gonna come back.
I believe too. Like, I mean, I read and I believe this is true, but Glenn from Always Sunny was like a close runner-up to be Star-Lord.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah, which would've
Dude, I
been
saw him in Blackberry recently.
Oh, is he good in that?
He's so good in
I heard
it,
of
and
that.
I
that
heard
character is
that.
perfect for him
Yeah.
because he's like an unhinged executive. And so anytime if you like him raging in Always Sunny,
That's what
you're
it
gonna
is.
love this like brutal a-hole character that like kind of sleazes his way into this business. It was also a very fascinating movie just to see, like, because there's Jobs, and then there's those 2 biopics of Steve Jobs, and so it's like, oh, okay, you get to watch a company kind of explode and win.
Yeah.
This other one is like, you get to see BlackBerry during its heyday, but then you also get to see it from the, like, you're watching the perspective of the losing company.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's really interesting to watch not only the rise and fall of it, but then how that happened and why Apple and the iPhone really took over, and like some other nuances within that industry that I just never really looked close enough to. But it was all about minutes, and then they were like, BlackBerry's whole thing was, we crammed data into like really small packets, so that way you could actually email and text and stuff on cellular networks.
Yeah.
And then after that, they're like, well, fuck that. Let's just like blow the bandwidth apart with data, and then instead of selling minutes, sell data. And I mean, that's what the market did. But it's like, it was wild. It was really good. Jay, I forget his name. Jay, whatever, was like the inventor, like kind of the guy who developed the BlackBerry. And then Glenn Howerton's character is like the executive that kind of sleazes his way in. To put it, I'll just leave it there. But like, it was really good. It was really interesting, really well acted. And I think it's a little dramatized because I don't know the real story, but it's based on true events. It was very cool. I recommend it. You should check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
It's like
Easy.
the story of Facebook.
Kind
Social
of.
Network.
Dude, Social Network was fucking
Twins.
good.
It was a
man.
great
Good
movie.
I actually thought the Winklevoss twins, Armie Hammer, was actually twins because they did that so well. It's just
Funny.
it's just that one. That's how I first got to know that person as an actor. I was like, I don't know who this is, so maybe they're
his
brothers. But dude, I watched that a lot. And if nothing else, Trent Reznor's soundtrack for that movie was just a hit. So like, whenever I was doing like really annoying coding homework, I'm like, fuck it, just pretend you're like developing an amazing billionaire's website, and then. But it was like, no, I'm just coding how to like simulate a ball bouncing in a certain environment, right? In Python, and like, ugh.
Python sucks.
Python was heinous. Do we need this?
I've dabbled in Python.
Yeah.
And
Python.
I don't like it. Python's ass.
I liked coding in BASIC and in C++.
And like everyone
where it was
else.
basically like like writing words, telling it like a sentence to code. Like coding needs to get there again, where you can go. Instead of being like, okay, establish integer x equals like is this, and then you like, use percentages to put like comments to like tell yourself what all these things are, and then you start doing if-then statement and all these things. Instead of that, just be like, all right, so there's a box, okay, and then like that box exists and it looks like this. Maybe that's where we can actually use AI.
That's where AI is going. Yeah.
Should be.
That's where it should be, where you can just speak colloquially.
Yeah.
And then it goes, got it. I'll turn that into the advanced code.
It would have made ordering your coffee a lot easier if they could do that. Right? Just like they just plug in the side of the head. Coffee is a drink. Boom. Oh yes, we have coffee.
Yeah, we gotta go. We're good.
Coffee. Like, oh, right. You just pull out your own Ethernet cable from your heart to them, and then you go, and they go, okay, coffee.
Oh, we're getting closer and closer to that like iRobot future.
Yeah. That's a really interesting movie because I think it confronts really interesting philosophical ideas, right? Because like there were the rules. I don't remember. It's been so long since I've seen it, but there were the rules that a robot had to abide by. That were hard coded into them. But then the inventor of the AI systems and the robots himself was also toiling away, kind of on a sentient, free thinking AI, which is kind of then the whole. How
what
the
Sunny is
movie unfolds, but I don't know. I think it's going. Man, it was something that 10 years ago we were like, it's bound to happen, right? The singularity's gonna happen, and a lot of people were like, yeah, probably in like the 20s, maybe 30s, and we were like, flying cars by the 2000s. Am I right? That never happened.
Yeah.
But then suddenly we're already here, looking back on AI conversations and going like again, it's still very rudimentary. I think a lot of people think it's like way more capable than it is, or like they've heavily invested into it, and there's like a lot of ethical problems with it. But I think give it 10 to 15 years, that shit's gonna be spooky.
What I'm waiting for and what I'm actually excited about is I can't wait before, during this writer's strike, 2 separate networks trying to write a fucking show using AI, and they both make the exact same show because they're both using ChatGPT, and
Yeah.
then we all find out about it.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
And then
It's
there-
going to happen. There's no way it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
There's no fucking
Yeah.
shot that that does not happen.
Yeah.
And then what would determine which one's better? Would it be who they casted or just the
Yeah,
overall
casting.
directing? Probably casting, right? That's
Probably
something that you could
casting.
base it off of,
Directing, yeah,
right?
'cause
It'd be
the-
casting, and then I guess just like DP.
That's going to I would put that's going to happen in the next like year and a half.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
There's
it would
no
be.
way it's not.
It would be a bold choice
a
to
jour-
put out an AI-created show, like
journalist-
from top to bottom, in
literally-
the next few years.
A journalist just got caught because he used ChatGPT to write an article, and it just copy pasted an already existing article from 4 years ago.
Yep. And
Oh, it just
lawyers
straight
have used
It
it.
just
Oh,
straight plagiarized
shit.
it.
Yeah.
And he published it, and they were like, I wrote that like 3 years ago.
And he's like, no,
And he's like,
not that I would
I
know.
mean, but couldn't you just ask, like, I'm assuming he probably used, like, ChatGPT. You
definitely
could just
did.
ask ChatGPT, is this an already, like, written thing? Is
yeah,
this,
but
is
that
this a
shit
published,
lies,
like,
dude. It just has
lies, yeah.
It does
confident.
lie,
It has
yeah.
confident
Yeah.
falsehoods, and it can't even tell if what it's
it made it,
ingesting.
yeah.
It doesn't even know itself.
Like
There's
that-
no footprint.
like
so,
that college student who wrote a essay, and then ChatGPT was like, I made that, and he was like, no, I wrote this essay. Like
Right.
the AI did not write this essay, and he like got a failing grade. I'm like, that's crazy.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about the reverse of it, like stuff you actually wrote. And they're just like ChatGPT is like, no, I did that.
Well, that's
The
what
problem-
the whole Reddit thing was about.
Fuck
Yeah.
Is like the AI people want to buy like all the information on Reddit to
Yeah.
like, teach the machines, like to learn the machines. So like
It's a
like
lot of data.
it's a lot of
Which is-
specific questions that get asked on Reddit.
Oh yeah, and that's a lot of
Yeah.
people also thought the
Oh,
same thing
fuck.
for Tesla and Elon. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of like, again, it's a very hairy conversation I do not dare to get into, but like the main purpose behind Elon buying Twitter was to have access to that data set, so then he could, in theory, use that to train. Because like, what did they propose? Like Tesla bots, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, why is it you just want to be racist? Like, why would you buy Twitter for that?
I don't know, man. Mostly for like human language and conversation, but you're right. I mean,
the
what
last
happens
place
is
I would-
right. What happens is
Yeah.
like it gets concentrated. Like what do they say in programming? Garbage in equals garbage out.
Yeah.
So if it's feeding off shit
Yeah, which
or
it is.
other AI output, which could also be just
Shit.
completely heinous, made up nothingness, that's exactly what you're going to get out of it. And so I don't know.
Isn't Elon trying to sue the people who he bought Twitter off of?
Well,
Or,
he
like,
already- he did that
It was,
before
or
when
was
he
it
was
the
like-
attorneys that advised him, or the people who advised him to buy Twitter?
I don't know.
He's a
I don't know. Maybe he would sue himself if he could. He's like, I blame past me for saying things that I shouldn't have. I don't know. I don't know what he's
Yeah.
up to anymore because I just can't keep track of everything.
How much money does he have?
A lot.
He's like he's reclaimed the #1 spot as the richest man in the world. I
Yeah,
think.
because Tesla's
Yeah.
250% year to date.
230 billion or something like that.
Yeah. Did you know that it would take
Make good cars, though.
2,740 years if you spent $1,000 a day to spend $1 billion? And he has like a bunch of billions.
He has a bunch of billions.
And a lot of people have no money. So
I just want to ask him for like 1/10 of a billions.
yeah.
And
And
then
I-
I'm
yeah.
set for the rest of my life
Yeah.
as well as my generation.
I just
feel
feel like that
like I
shouldn't be
would-
allowed.
I feel like I would take like 2 mil for myself, 1 mil for like friends and family, and then just all of it gone. Just
Mhm.
It would
gone.
take 69,000 years to earn $1 billion at minimum wage.
Well, someone just won the.
It started.
I think it was the Mega Millions.
Oh
jackpot.
yeah, that's
They
the
just-
only time a billionaire will be taxed.
Yeah, yeah, they got taxed. Like, what I think the jackpot was 1.2 billion,
Yeah.
and then the take home was like 480 million.
Yeah, it's
Which
again
is
the
still
only time
more
a
than
billionaire
enough.
I
will
don't know
be
if
taxed.
I don't know
ever.
if that's enough to retire though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not enough.
Yeah, I don't
Dude,
think
the,
I could
you
retire
You can spend
off that.
you can spend $2,000 a day.
Yeah.
Right. I'm trying to buy 2 yachts because one needs a helipad for
Right,
the other.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Right, I don't want to land on the boat that I'm sleeping on. That's weird. But I do want to land
On
at
a boat.
sea.
So yeah,
Yeah.
And then
and then you
go on your-
tinier helicopter over to the other yacht.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. Thank
Yeah.
you for understanding.
Did
So
you
anyway.
see that the Magic the Gathering Lord of the Rings one of One Ring
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
was sold
The
for
Post
2.6
Malone?
Yeah,
and it was
you
sold
know
to
who
Post
has
Malone.
it? Yeah.
Dumb
It's
money.
a Post Malone, dude.
Dumb
That's
money.
awesome.
An actual Magic player.
Yeah,
Great.
the video was really wholesome.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh, I
it
didn't
was
see his video.
Yeah,
Very
the video was
wholesome.
really wholesome. Like the guy who's like, when Post Malone was looking at it and like he was talking, he was like, he just straight up goes, I'll take it. Like,
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Take it.
And they like
Easy.
hug and they like
Yeah.
the guy
Did he
like
buy
bursts
from
into tears.
the person who found it?
Yes.
Did he?
Because
okay.
the person that found it released a video.
Of him like
Of, like-
unboxing or opening.
Yeah, it's like
packs.
in his hand, like in a sleeve, and dude, he's just like shaking, and he's just like turning it around, and then he's like turning it back. I was like, honestly, I don't know. I'd
So-
probably have to go for a drive. I would unbox it, go no fucking way, put it down
Just go for a walk.
in like a sleeve, in a box, store it in a cabinet, and then just go for a walk, sit at a lake.
You come
and
back
just-
and your house is on fire.
Oh!
Yeah.
I would just take Jackie, just sit at a lake and go, okay,
Now what?
okay.
Yeah, I'm not a Magic the Gathering player, but like, is it so rare because they really did
is the only
It
one.
was the only
they
one.
only printed
So they
one.
made a
Only
bunch. There's a
one.
bunch of cards that are like the ring, but this is the only one that was like it was like
Yeah.
gold.
I have
Right.
two.
Was it actual
I have two
gold?
of. I don't know if it's actual gold.
Oh,
I have
it's
two of the ring.
Yeah.
But then there's like other minor rings, like
Mhm.
a dwarven ring, an elvish ring, and then a human ring.
There's
Yeah.
only one of
There's
That
one.
one of one.
and it's like the fancy one.
And when did they
Foil.
print that one off? Was it like years ago that
No,
they did that? Or
no.
was it,
probably
like-
this year.
Really?
Mhm.
I thought it was like
Because it
years
released
ago.
like a
It,
month
it
ago. 2 months
released
ago.
like a month or two ago,
Really?
and then someone, found
In
it.
my
Someone
head,
found
I
it in
was
that
like-
time. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Took like 2 weeks from release, 2.5 weeks for it to be found.
Yeah,
Charlie
well,
the Chocolate Factory.
Because a lot of people
Yeah.
are like, they thought,
2.6 mil.
yeah, a lot of people
Like,
were saying
fucking hell.
that's a lot of money.
That's crazy.
A lot of people were saying that like,
Like-
well, I don't think they're gonna release it because like they
Yeah.
want people to
Venmo?
buy the card, so that's not gonna be an
I know,
opening
right?
weekend thing.
Yeah.
But
No, I think they just
they
put
found
it
it
out
pretty
there.
quick. Yeah.
Just did put it in a box.
I mean, I don't play Magic, nor do I collect, but I was like, I'm a huge
Lord of the
Tolkien
Rings, yeah.
geek, and
Yeah.
so I was like, I'm absolutely gonna get in on that. And like, I have some really cool cards. I don't know the value of any of them, nor do
Yeah.
I care. I'm just like, this art
Oh.
is really cool, and I love how well, to my understanding, it blends into the Magic world.
I love that.
Yeah.
And like the system that they developed for the ring, the burden system, is
Oh.
really interesting. Yeah.
Cool.
So it feels like authentic and not just
Yeah.
like
yeah,
cash
not just
grab.
like,
Yeah.
we skinned
Like a-
it.
yeah.
You can play somebody else's deck with it, and it does have well-balanced mechanics
cool.
that feature what they're like. Obviously, you'd be strong because you have the ring, but there's also the burden of it, like
Yeah, the
weighing
psychic
on you
toll.
and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Psychic
exactly.
toll. Yeah.
But it's
That's
really cool. But there was like, I think somebody was also offering not nearly 2 million, but they were like, I'll offer you 300,000, and you and I both take it to a nearby active volcano, and we chuck it in together.
That
Dude,
would be
I
sick,
like
though.
honestly though.
That'd be sick.
That's
Right?
so sick.
Imagine you
That's
film
so
that.
sick.
That's,
I mean, it would go viral,
it's like
right?
in the
Yeah.
Titanic when
I'll-
she throws the heart of the ocean. She goes,
I'll be honest. If like the highest price was like 500K, I would take a 300K and do that.
yeah,
would.
I can see that.
I would.
That'd be
but
so
not
sick.
not
Yeah.
like. Oh God, was it
Yeah.
like 6-8 times as much?
Then the company goes, all right, we made another The Ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like
fucking
there must
asshole.
always be one. What's funny is it was like,
It's. I mean, even if you get like a bit or a piece of it, it'd probably still sell.
yeah. I bit a piece off. You separate it into 4 and you send it to the corners of the earth.
Yeah.
Like
So it's like
Zodiac.
Like Dragon, like Zodia or
like
Dragon Ball.
Dragon Balls, and fucking, and then someone develops a radar.
Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep.
It was graded, and it was rated a TSA 9, which
PSA 9.
TSA, excuse me.
TSA.
TSA pre-
Yeah.
it was a TSA.
TSA,
no, it-
TSA 9, does that mean that you're allowed to fly, but
No,
like you
no,
have like
you're
10
super
security,
not
like 10
allowed to.
security guards around
definitely
you
gets
watching?
pulled for pat down.
It gets
Okay.
pulled. It gets pulled every time.
I
It
get
does
pulled
not have
every
pre-check. No, it's funny that it had a PSA 9, and I was like, come on, man. Like, you're only going to put out one. Print a couple,
Should've
look at them,
been.
and be like, all right, this one's perfect.
That's
Off it goes.
yeah.
does that
It
mean?
really should.
It's basically like how,
It's
like how,
the card gets graded.
yeah.
Oh,
like
like
the margin
if it's
thickness.
askew
So
or,
it's
like,
great
how
on
it's cut.
numerous things, like
like a diamond.
like honestly, if there's any like marring or scars on it, things like
Centering
that.
is a huge one.
And then also the big thing is the centering, because a lot of times you'll have the artwork and then there's
Yeah.
like a border, so the centering is like big too. And
Huh.
so like they'll grade it on all that.
It was a PSA 9?
It was a 9.
That's
What's the
yeah, that's actually really upsetting that they make
Well, I
a
mean,
one-of-one card
they go by
and it's not
halves.
even like what PSA would consider a mint condition. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
You're like,
Really-
maybe
he was
maybe
too-
this
he
maybe this is,
jostled it too much when he ripped the pack open.
yeah, he was too nervous and he sweat on it and it soaked up his sweat and swole a
I
little.
mean, you
and-
could have. I mean, you could have. But
But it's also the only one.
I mean, it's the
And
only
so,
one. So
I think if it's one for one, it's always a 10.
even if it got a
honestly,
PSA
I'm
1.
glad it's a 9. Then again, it's not Pokemon cards. Pokemon cards, they get shoddy.
Oh.
The printing on them gets shoddy. But
And the
I mean,
cutting
it was a
on them.
9. A 9 is still very, very, very.
Maybe
good.
maybe they're like, it's supposed to be off center. That's a perfect 10. And then PSA's like, we have nothing to grade against.
Perfect 10.
It's the only one.
Look, PSA, I'm sure they're happy to get that graded over like Beckett, which is like
Mm-hmm.
a big company.
Can you imagine walking around with that card? Because I think they drove it
just-
to the PSA place to get it graded. Because you're like, imagine trusting that, la la la, put it in an envelope and just send it off.
I mean, like I
Hope
said,
it goes well.
Instantly lawyer, and then just go to PSA, and then have like a written document for them to sign. And be
Yeah.
like, I'm handing this to you. You're grading this,
And you will
like,
give it
is
back to
it
me.
is in this condition.
Body
and
cam
you'll
your
give it
whole
back.
life.
Yeah.
The whole thing, dude. That
Yeah.
is way too much money to like mess around with.
What's he gonna like? What's he gonna do with it?
I also wouldn't tell anyone.
Right.
I would call my
He stayed
friends.
anonymous because he was
Yeah.
going to sell to like, there was a company in Spain, there was a toy company in New York, there was somebody in like England, and they were all offering around that $2 million.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I'll just sell it to these people on the East Coast. I'll stay anonymous. But then, however, Post Malone came into the picture. Like,
Yeah, I
that's a
don't know how it
much better
happened.
person, I think, to go to. A player that can afford it versus like a collector who might not ever get into the hands of somebody who deeply appreciates
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
it is, but they see it as an asset, which is kind of weird.
I
Yeah, that's
mean,
worse.
I mean,
Went to a drop
honestly-
shipper.
Oh no! Oh no!
I mean, honestly, like,
You can say Logan.
I was like, I mean, like, if I was Post, I would reach out to my people and just tell them to like, look, contact Beckett and PSA, which is like I'd start there, the two huge grading companies. If this comes across your table for grading,
Buy it.
let them know that I'm offering this much money. Because they would contact the seller at that point. PSA would be like, oh my God, Post Malone's talking to us, and like they want to get a
Post
like,
would just probably could just tweet, "Hey, if you got it, I'd like it."
Oh, 100%.
And then everyone it would
100%.
make headlines. But I don't know how he did it. But like you said, there was
Did
a
it.
video of him.
It was when they were doing the sale.
backstage,
Yeah,
and
when they were
he-
doing the
He had like a
sale.
Pelican
No,
case
literally.
for it, and then you just like here, and then
Oh, sick.
Post took it, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll take it." And he looked so fast. Like,
He
super
bit
happy.
it?
And
Yeah.
he
He
just
goes,
put it in his pocket.
Yeah, and he went, "Oh shit!"
He actually just tucks it in his phone case.
But I mean, like he's happy to have it, but I mean, honestly, that over like the course of 10 years could become more.
oh, absolutely, and it will. It very much will.
Oh, no.
Unless they decide to print off another one that's an actual PSA 10. They say, hey, we fucked up. Want to make a 10.
I think the 10 would have a different value than the 9 because
It has
It's
less-
not- it's
one
not-
is have less
the-
value.
one.
Yeah.
The one.
Yeah.
This is the second one that
Yeah.
they felt bad that they have to reprint.
I gotta get my first edition Charizard graded.
You have a first edition Charizard?
You have a first edition Charizard.
Hollow?
How much does that go for, and how hard have you lawyered up?
Well, it's in Spanish, but it looks the centering looks perfect, and there's no issues on it. So first edition Charizard Spanish, I checked like a year ago. If it's a PSA
I'll give you $10 right now.
10,
Stop looking at
it
it.
could be like 25 G's.
Yeah, $25, dude.
That's
I can.
crazy.
Oh yeah, he got 25 bucks.
25.
I was like, oh fuck. Get
Googlets?
that graded, and then I just keep it, and it'll be next to my PSA 9 Blastoise and my PSA 10 Venusaur.
Hell yeah.
And it's boom.
What is
Then you
I
take-
used to just have that fucking Charizard on my desk in a goddamn case when I was working at IGN.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, it's Charizard.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
Yeah.
no
it's
way.
worth like $100.
Someone
now I'm
walks
just
by
like,
your desk and goes,
holy shit, why did I do that?
Yeah,
I could have
that's-
just
that's
kept
crazy.
that.
That's risky.
It was at my desk for years.
At this point, you got to get that shit insured. It's
Yeah.
like a high-level art
Yeah,
piece.
Yeah.
You know? If it gets destroyed in a house accident, dog pees on it, house burns up, whatever. You know?
Dogs do pee.
They do.
And they get the high arcs
Yeah.
up on the
Yeah.
table.
If you lose collectibles like that in a fire, the insurance company just pays you at the value of them, right?
Yes.
Interesting.
I think so.
You're a
I'm
match.
guessing, and I'm just giving answers like I know what I'm talking about.
Joe,
So listen to me.
Joe, you got a match.
I got you. You don't even
I'll
need
be out of town.
You don't even need to find a
Be
seller.
out of town.
Yeah, you don't even need to turn off your security cams.
Yeah, no, it's all-
There's no
Yeah,
evidence. It's
yeah,
just be like,
easy.
oh my God, something.
We caught him on the Wi-Fi camera. We could see him balls first.
It's pinging my geolocation, and it's like on the way to Fredo's house at the exact moment that the house goes up in flames, and then they're like, we got video evidence, and then it's what Trevor did earlier, where he was like, he was like this, and I'm like,
It's a fisheye angle from balls up.
He's
So
just like, Fredo promised me 20%. He promised me 20%.
he's running around. It's like one of those GoPros in front of your face, but it's like at the ball angle, so the foreground is all blurred out.
yeah.
So- but it's just you.
Dude, security footage just shows him going to the house, and then before he like goes to light the room on fire, he stops. He's like, oh, let me go and boot up the Loads his profile. He's like,
We see that you threw in a couple of PRs at the scene of the crime.
No, it was wrong. Just it was just my profile. That was Fredo. Fredo set the PRs, not me. I didn't do it.
Look, that's wrong. Look, he's sleeveless. It was all him.
Oh my God.
We found your one load at the scene of the crime.
One load.
he just
to
kept going
rule them all.
20%.
20%. Oh God.
Well, that's it, guys. That was a fun one.
Yeah.
Oh
wow.
my God.
It was
That was a lot of
I gotta go
conversation.
plan. Well, I shouldn't say it, but I gotta go plan some arsoning.
And he still
Right.
said it.
But like if you say it, they're gonna be like, oh.
But that's on the comedy podcast.
Obviously, he didn't do it because he
Right.
said it
Yeah,
publicly.
because
Right.
yeah,
It
I'm
was
just
just all
like
giggles.
Fredo's house is on fire.
Yeah.
I get $10,000. He gets
You're
100,000.
just a silly goose.
In a hypothetical situation like that, that would be hilarious.
Cut it.
Cut there.
Cut it. Goodbye.
Let it go. Bye.
Thanks for joining us,
Yeah,
Griff,
thanks
Thanks for
of the RTP.